Hello everyone, my name is Macy and welcome to another episode of my Let's Play series. How's everyone doing today? We are on episode 72, I want to say, big numbers, and that means we're getting closer to 75, which is my little world recap thing. So I take it as an opportunity to tidy up and clean things up. And can I just say, how cute is that little happy Ghast behind me? He's not very little actually, but how cute. I was still really chuffed with this build for the last episode, the little happy Ghast home tower. Big fan of this, even if it doesn't really work as intended. It's still nice as like a little spot to hang my happy Ghasts up, the one and only just now. But I thought for today's tidying up project, there is a lot to do. There's this whole section over there. There's just a whole section. We went over it last episode, I think, or the one before that. I'm not sure. We went through it at some point. But something has caught my attention today, and it's this storage room. I haven't touched this storage room since it was built, really, aside from adding an ender chest or so. This thing has been exactly the same for a very long time. Was that like episode 4, 3? I don't know. But a very long time. We're in 72. And I realized as I was going through what blocks I have and I don't have, things here aren't laid out in the best way. I'm sort of staring off into the distance to avoid looking at my problems. You guys ever do that? Ever just avoid your problems? Let me show you things that make sense. We have a cobblestone chest, that's normal. A stone brick chest, normal, right? Stone chest, normal. A tough chest, normal. Deep slate chest, normal. Now this is where things get a bit weird, and this could be very upsetting to some people. And if you are distressed, I apologize. But I am me, I am who I am, and that's enough, I guess. Self-acceptance and all that. So here's what society would think is a problem. And if you think this is a problem, you're part of the problem. Don't judge me for my storage choices, but this is my andesite chest, which contains andesite, granite, and diorite. I think that's a normal grouping of blocks. They all sit together. They do. They're siblings. They're a family, okay? They sit together. And now if Tuff didn't have so many different variants, Tuff would also be in that same sibling family, okay? In my head, they live in the same spot. Basalt? Quite questionable for it to actually be on its own. Okay, I admit, a little bit questionable. Clay. A whole double chest for clay. A whole double chest for clay. Then my sand has got my sand and my gravel. Of course. Then we have packed mud. Mud has got no stuff. These should be combined. In fact, you know what I should do? Really? What I've done at my Arcadia, I think, well, it's worse than this, but clay should be sitting with bricks. Or terracotta. But it should be sitting with bricks. The problem is that my bricks aren't even here. My bricks are all the way on the other side of the storage room. Here. It's sort of like I took, honestly, the logic behind this is I sort of took all the like natural blocks, that you would get from mining out. I took all the natural blocks and I put them there in their own little categories, except for packed mud, which is not natural, so that's questionable. And, stone bricks and stuff, but that's just for logistical reasons, because I have a lot of those. I fill my natural blocks and they're sort of like, they're stone. Exactly, they're types. Mud is a type of stone. This storage room, can I just say, it's an absolute mess. Like, my wool chest was so full, I started putting it in the resin chest. It doesn't make any sense. It doesn't have to make sense. My sand is over there, but my sandstone's here. My dry sandstone is normal sand. It doesn't have to make sense. And so I thought for a very long time that we're going to start off today's episode by fixing my storage room. But, that is what society would want me to do. That's what people that like to sort out their storage rooms would want me to do. I refuse. I have persisted throughout the 14 years I've played Minecraft. I've never had to do it. I won't do it because copper golems are coming out. Copper golems are coming out. So I shan't be touching that thing until that snapshot is out. And I'll be doing something else this episode. Sorry to fake out on you guys there. I just wanted to show you how bad it is, just so you know, so you can suffer with the knowledge. What we're actually going to work on today is next to my storage room. I really don't like this area. Over here, first off, I think we can get rid of these stables. It feels kind of bad. I love my little stable parking, what do they call them? Horse stops. Unfortunately, I've not used horses for a little while. And this is just in an inconvenient spot because what I would really like to do, if we fly up, and I can show you, is I'd like to have a path going from the storage room there over this way to a little bridge that would come across this little way, a little bridge here, and then connect somehow to the builds over here, because these are very disconnected and disjointed. We have a bridge on this side of the river. I feel like we should have a bridge here somewhere. And that is my plan for this episode, is to give this a little tidy over. I don't like the way this section of my island looks. I don't like that I'm getting zombies spawning there still. Edgy. And I don't really know exactly what kind of bridges or anything I'll build, but I think it'll be a good fun episode of just doing a little bit of path work, terraforming, bridge work, just kind of more almost chill builds, less straight lines. Can I just say, if you haven't seen my Arcadia episode on the Parthenon, it's the latest Arcadia episode 15, just see the thumbnail. You can see why I'm burnt out of straight lines. I don't need any more of those in my life. We're gonna go for a little bit like flowy, less thinking, more vibing of a build. And that's why we're going to do paths, bridges, and connect this whole section together, which is going to go perfect because I think that's the only bit of my island that does not go all the way around. I don't have a path going around it all the way around that yet. So let's go buildy! Now this is not an angle you guys see the base from often. It's not even an angle I see the base from often because I hate it. Although this is one of the very first spots that I built with the storage house. Storeroom? I don't remember what I called it. This is my storage. It is ugly. Look at that. Enderman holes, random torches, and I think I've mentioned this many times how much I don't like seeing dirt stacked like this. The entire bit is stacked dirt, random little holes, another one there. It's just, you know, enough is enough. As we're on this journey of tidying up and making our world pretty, let's deal with this. So I have marked out that I think I want a bridge going this way, and I marked out a little path as well. So here now we have some space, we can have a little path going this way, and then we go on to this section here where a bridge will probably go somewhere like this, and then down this way. It is going to have to be a diagonal bridge, which is very unfortunate for me, but a good challenge, right? That's every time a diagonal build comes up in my life, I think of it as a challenge. Is that good? I hope so. But what I really don't like is this little section here. Now what we'll do, because I don't have free cam in this version of Minecraft, is we'll actually just use the vanilla free cam, aka my happy Ghast. Come here, little guy. Did I bring a snowball? I did not. But there we go. I made it. I lost that leash forever, but I made it. Very slowly. Okay, give me a moment. This is going to take some time. Now we have a good view over here with the vanilla free cam, and take a look at this section. It doesn't quite make sense, right? The way it goes in. It is purely vanilla generation, but I don't like it. I actually love this little cove almost area. I don't know what it's called exactly, but those both points kind of work nicely together. I actually don't think I can even bridge this, actually thinking about it. I think it's a little bit too wide, it's gonna look weird, but maybe have a dock on this side and a dock on that side or something. I don't know, I'll put like a couple boats stationed across. Realistically, we're always going to fly across, but I think it's nice to have the option of boating there. But this section does not need to exist. I think if we put a bridge there instead, I think it's going to look really cool. And we can keep this. I might remove this iceberg. It's a little bit close to the stone. And I want to terraform this entire section over here, kind of like what I did over there with those rocks. I really want to start putting in some more terraforming work around my base recently. I have been enjoying terraforming, and this is definitely a section that needs it desperately. It'll actually spice up the way our storage room looks, because that's a very basic build, reminiscent of its time, of the basic materials I had on hand. So I think I'm going to start by removing a lot of this dirt here. Let's go up. Remove the dirt, place in some stone, and then we'll texture it and shape it to make it look like some sort of boulders or something, a natural cliffside at least. So I've cleared out a lot of the dirt over here, so now we can just see the stone and the shape of the terrain. And over here, I tried to texture it a little bit just to see how it feels. And I got to be honest, guys, I don't love it now, don't get me wrong. I think the texture looks good, but I can't quite imagine what sort of terrain this would be in real life. I feel like here, where we have this icy ocean, it should be like a rocky cliff face almost. So I'm thinking either a bunch of boulders or, well, a cliff. This feels like more of a a rocky slope, but it doesn't feel like boulders. I'm not really sure exactly what this is meant to be. So I kind of use the default generation as a guideline here, and it definitely just feels like I've only improved the natural generation. I haven't actually done anything interesting. It doesn't have a specific shape. It doesn't feel like a cliff. It doesn't feel like a bunch of rocks. It feels like this, whatever this is, but textured. So I think I'm gonna try to change that a little bit. I'll use what I've got here, but I think I will add stuff on top of it to create some more interesting shapes. Right now we have this sort of almost like a gentle rocky slope, which just doesn't feel right, but then this is quite tall, so this feels more like a sharp cliff. I don't know, it just sort of, it's trying to do too many things at once, I think. I am gonna try for rocks first, and then if I can't make that work, we might cut a lot of this off and make it straight up into a cliff, because that's a little bit easier to pull off. But let's see if we can make a boulder over here. Polar bear of truth. Oh, polar bear of truth. What is your wisdom? What is thy wisdom? Well, Nushi, you must have fun and allow yourself to be silly in this game. That's a mangrove wood. Why not? I don't know where it came from, but I just thought I really needed some color in these rocks. And now we have color in the rocks. So let's build one together so I can kind of talk you through my thought process here. I have some blocks, not too many. I'm going to need to go do some resource gathering soon enough, but I want to build like a little boulder that sticks out here. Maybe goes taller than this one, maybe around here. Pretty tall boulder that sticks out. So we're going to have, the way I see it is our nether brick is kind of our darkest shadows. And we can blend our nether brick with some cherry wood, or we can blend it with some blackstone, like this. Yep. And I like the blackstone because it really feels like it's rock that has been maybe made wet by the ice here. You know, there's been like kind of slushy ice because it's an ocean. Actually, I kind of wanted to try replicating like waves or broken ice in here, but Minecraft works in funny ways, and if I made holes in the ice, they would just freeze over again, so I've left it. But then we go in with some basalt, because it's got the same kind of purpley tones here, and obviously make sure to line up inside if I'm leaving it hollow. Some cobbled deep slate goes well with this. Some black terracotta is always fun. And now I feel like we should have black terracotta in here as well. And now let's see where we want this to end. Probably around here. So what do I think? Like this? Find it convenient to kind of do the top and the bottom and then join the middle together. What I think really makes a difference when making these sort of boulders is just letting myself have these really sharp edges on them, and have the flat tops, and it really makes them pop. So let's see, whoopsie, soul sand here. And mud's also very good for blending these blocks. Maybe I'll use mud here instead. Mud, into some deep slate. Like this. Let's get ourselves some mangrove logs because I like the way they look next to the soul soil. And then another one here. And I think the mangrove logs go well with Tuff. It out a little bit. There's some snow layers because I might as well. And then to tie in the mangrove logs, they're just gonna go lichen on them. And don't like this deep slate here actually. Think we go in for another mud with a soul soil, and then maybe I'm gonna put the mud lower down and then go in with basalt. Okay, I think that looks pretty good. And now we have some sort of boulder. I still don't love it though. Maybe I'll bring it out one on the side. Just give it a bit more of an interesting shape. Yeah, it's a little bit better. It's a little bit less perfect. Ah, look at it just floating around. Yeah, so basically that's my thought process when it comes to working on this. And I also kind of decided to use a little bit more packed eyes as kind of accent colors. So one of the reasons I decided to go for the sort of cherry wood and nether brick kind of look to the rocks was because I was starting to think we don't just go for the shade of the color, so we don't go from like grey to lighter grey to color this. we should really try to make the colors pop by using something that's going to contrast against the blue. And my mind naturally went to, well, these sort of colors, right? They do really stand out against the blue. I think it gives a lot more depth. I think it still feels natural. I don't know, even though it's purple and like the sort of maroony brown almost, I think it still works for a rock shadow. And if you really zoom out, I think that's when it shines. It just feels kind of natural to me now. And if it's not 100% natural, that's okay too, because this is my silly fun little block game, and honestly I went from not wanting to play it at all to being excited to seeing what kind of fun blocks I can put in my terraforming by just having that little revelation of, it's my world, I can do what I want, I can do anything I want. What do you think of nether brick and cherry logs in terraforming? Has it been done before? Almost certainly, but it's new to me. And I quite like the idea of it, I gotta say. Now it's time for me to do a little material gathering montage, but I am basically out of shulker shells and shulkers as a whole. I think I have like 6 to my name, and they're filled with stuff. So I'm gonna see if I can get myself some more. I assume I've raided this one, but by any chance, is there any shulkers in here? There's one. One shulker shell. And a... Oh, nice. Well, I think this is starting to look quite good actually. I am kind of humming and hawing about whether I like it or not. There's still a lot more work to be done, especially at this top section. Haven't quite decided how I'm going to connect the stone to the grass. And I think what I did here with a whole bunch of snow blocks and snow carpets kind of looks quite good. So I think I'm going to want to replicate that across everywhere. It just makes the snow look less fake, I think, if it's sort of scattered in different heights. So I think I'm going to have to do that. Now, actually, what I really like is these 2 water caves over here that I've kept. These are natural. I feel like this needs to be changed out. They were here originally. I've sort of just widened them a little bit so they're more obvious. And I think actually one big thing I'm going to have to consider for this whole place is how I'm going to light it up, because it's very much not mob proof at the moment, even with some of the glow lichen on there. The next step, I'm going to work on the bridge here first actually before I finish off the terraforming, because I need a little break from terraforming, and I also want to see how this all ties together to that section over there before I finish it off. We can add lights around the path, and that means I only need to focus on lighting up this lower section over here. I'm not sure. But yeah, it's time to work on the bridge. Because we've used so many greys here in this terraforming section, even if we added some purple, reds, and brown in here, we used so much grey. I think for this, we kind of want to make it almost match the castle wall there. Maybe not using the tuff, because there's so much stuff over here. Although bricks could maybe work, because they're a different texture. I think using the sort of spruce wood plus birch and sandstone, and maybe some dripstone as well, it's going to look good, it's going to look cohesive. I'm just trying to find the right height for this bridge, because these 2 land sections, they don't match up perfectly. So I'm wondering, what do I do in this situation? Do I raise this bit of land so the bridge sort of starts and ends at the same point? Or do I have like a weird slopey bridge? I'm not sure. Well, I'll start by putting in the legs and trying to get like a diagonal shape in. That's 1, 2, 3, 4. Probably don't want that. Let's put in 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Wait, yes. That's maybe okay for the legs. I've got myself a nice basic shape, I think. It's a very standard one. It doesn't curve too much, but I think this will be fine for what it's trying to do. I don't need it to be too interesting because the terrain around it is interesting enough, I think. And speaking of terrain, I actually want to raise this up a little bit. At the moment, both of these sides are up the same amount of blocks. So all I would need to do to make it completely even is just raise the ground level here to this, which is honestly just 2 blocks from where it is already. So I think I can terraform that quite easily and make some sort of cliffside here. Instead of this gentle slope, we can have something a lot more interesting, I think. And for the bridge itself, obviously we need a lot more than just half slabs on the top. So I think adding a bunch of detail around the sides here and making some sort of a curve around here. I don't know how else to describe it, but we're basically going to add like a block here and oh, maybe like there, like this, kind of curve it up a little bit. I don't know, it's hard to explain. It's hard to visualize just now, and obviously it's going to be even harder to pull off because it's on a diagonal. But I'm sure I can do it, and I think this is where the happy gas is going to come in so handy, because I kind of built this from the top down. So now we're going to go underneath the bridge and do all the decorations and do a bunch of terraforming here. It's going to be a whole bunch of fun, I think. For the terrain, I'll keep it nice and simple and very similar to what we've done here already. And we'll have a nice cohesive theme going around this entire cliffside. Okay, I think I'm getting the hang of being on this happy gas now. The controls are a bit weird. I actually don't know, like, am I sliding on ice or not? I feel like once I stop moving, it still moves for a little bit longer. There's a little bit of a delay almost to the happy gas responding, so it had me hitting my head a little bit like this. Well, actually it's not too bad on the stairs, but I did take some damage from full blocks earlier. And now I got this design and I'm pretty happy with it, to be honest. I think the copy really works here. I was using dripstone, and there's actually dripstone behind the grates there, but I needed the stairs as an option for me to kind of get this curve right, especially on a diagonal, and I think I did it with the stairs. I think that's a pretty good curve. I think the logs need something extra. I might add something to them, maybe some trapdoors around them, or maybe fences. Actually, let's try this out. I feel like dark oak fences might look better, but if we just thicken these up a little bit, I think it's easier for me to just up down here for this. And I'm out of fences. We'll just have to pretend it's done. Oh no, that's ugly. That's very ugly. But once I was working on this, I kind of realized I don't actually know if I want the sandstone to be as visible as it is. Maybe. I feel like spruce will work just as well. The only thing that's throwing me off is that these copper bulbs haven't aged yet. And oh, I'm missing slabs there. These copper bulbs haven't aged yet, so it looks brighter, more colorful than it's going to end up looking. Here's my happy gas. Come back. Yay! I do have snowballs on me. Yeah, I do. But I find it easier to just rocket up to them, to be honest, than wait forever for the snowball to get them. But if we do this... Ah, there we go. That's one aged. It's still a nice pop of color. I'm not sure. I'm going to try around a couple different things here. We definitely need a railing of some sort. Now, I'm going to leave you happy gas here. If you take a look at the only other diagonal bridge I did in my world over here, it's very, very tiny, and what I use for railings is signs placed on a diagonal, which I think looks kind of cute as you stand like this, but obviously if we fly away, it's gonna unload and look slightly worse. There we go, we can't see it, it looks kind of strange. So I'm considering using signs again for railing, or I could use something else. I'm not sure exactly what else is going to look good on a diagonal. Maybe just a bunch of trapdoors, or maybe there's a block that I'm not thinking of that will look good. One that looks more diagonal than others. I'm not sure, but do I need a sandstone or not? I'm still debating that. I feel like I don't. Right, happy Ghast, come here. Now we're gonna fly forever to get to these fences. I unironically love this. Why do I love the idea of the railings just being leaves? Oh, I'm gonna do it. I'm gonna do it. I'm gonna do it. I'm gonna put a bunch of leaves here. Why not? It's my world. I get to do what I want. And, you know, did you really think we're gonna go a whole episode without me putting leaves on something? Absolutely not. Absolutely not. Let's leave this up. It's been a while since I've been to my bee farm, but I actually need some wax, so let's see how it's doing. I haven't really been checking in on it, and I know it breaks every so often. My wax should be plenty. Let's see, do these have shears still? I don't think I've ever refilled the shears since I made the farm. Oh, we're so good. We're definitely good, and we can hear the iron farm going off as well. And this is the bit that starts breaking every so often. Oh, we have loads of honey bottles. Yeah, I think if we run out of bottles in these dispensers, it just fills up and then it won't go off again and it all gets stuck, but that's okay. Farms don't need to work perfectly, they just need to work enough. And speaking of, well, actually, there's no way to tie this in together, but I just thought we should probably name the little happy gas. I feel quite bad not having him named, so let's grab ourselves a name tag, which should be, nope. This should be, nope. Here. One name tag coming up, and I need to come up with a name real quick. I have nothing planned. Now, you guys have no idea how my brain works because this guy's going to be called Melon. And it's very simple. I wanted to call him Snowball, but it's a little bit, it's a little bit classic, isn't it? Melon! There we go. Let's go, Melon. Yeah, I wanted to name him Snowball. Turns out the word association game my brain played when thinking of the word snowball was the snowball melon. I quite like snowball melons. Have you guys got snowball melons where you live? I have no idea if this is like a name that UK has come up for it or what. Actually, do these look cute? They might look cute. Maybe too much. Maybe not enough. Actually, I don't like the fences. The fences aren't working in this build at all. But yeah, snowball melons are kind of like honeydew melons, I think, but they have this really soft white flesh and yeah, they're tasty. Big fan. I'm a big melon girl. Like melons, watermelons, you know what? I'm a big fruit girl. I don't know why we got to this conversation. I'm so used to playing more multiplayer recently that now speaking in my videos alone has got me saying the weirdest stuff. Anyways, bridge is looking cute. I think I want to add more stuff around the edges here, but let's work on the other side as well. Now this is looking kind of cute though, isn't it? Look at those little leaves overhanging the bridge. Does it make sense in this very icy land? No. Does it have to? No. Because I didn't want to make it make sense. This side obviously needs a lot of work, but quite chuffed. Quite chuffed. And look at Melon floating around. Boop. Perfect. I think, right? Not that I would use the same trick in every single episode, but what if we do some candles hanging out from this? Because I think glass panes are going to look a bit weird. They're going to connect here to the corners. But I think candles could work. Maybe. We soften out these rough edges, the diagonal edges with some candles maybe? Or pickles. Wait, can you put pickles midair? Actually, I have no idea. Let's do some science. Can we put pickles on the midairs? Let's see. Scaffolding. Pickle. Put pickle on. No. Okay. Gonna have to be candles. We got any? 7. Whole 7 to try with, and it's snowing. Okay. Melon. Melon, come here. Come here, Melon. You love snow. My good old snowball melon. Right. Apologies if the YouTube compression is going to kill this. But wait, you look more zoomed out on the happy gas now. You do. That's so cool. Let's see. Let's pop some stuff here. How about this? 2 candles. Okay. And now we're gonna... Oh my goodness, this is so hard to see. Okay, I think I'm gonna have to wait until until the weather is over to actually see if that makes a difference or not. So what if we add, just while we're on this, what if we add another one here? Now we definitely have some overhanging vines and stuff. I don't know what's up with this update. I swear everything goes a lot more washed out when it snows. Can you guys see the difference? I feel like there's a grey filter on everything, like a very slight greyish tint on everything. And it's not just the snowflakes. It's everything's a bit more misty looking. Yeah, because look at this. Look at how washed out this is. And then we go in here and boom, colour. Where did the small spot? I was literally in here. I didn't notice the small spot earlier. I was grabbing some wax and it's so bright and we're going to go outside and I don't know. It feels feels washed out. Anyways, I was going to show you guys, how smart is this? I was like, where's my nearest ender chest? Right here, because I'm well pre-planned, and this is what my ender chest looks like just now. I need some rockets, and we're going to go grab ourselves some string for some candles. I kind of want to show you guys more of my day-to-day, kind of almost playing in the world. I think for quite a few episodes, I have focused more on just getting builds done. But you know, this is my world. I am alive and living in it and have to gather resources. So let's go get ourselves some string from, this is my nether portal, from my nether portal. It's been a very long time since we've been to the spider farm. A very, very long time. See if I can still find my way there. Nether plagues me every single day. Right over there is our sign. Is it this one? Oh my goodness, now I feel like, ow, go away. I think it's this one. Wait. I'm pretty sure I had made an easy way down for myself. This is not it. I haven't been here so long. Do you guys remember this? I don't remember it. If you remember, I'm very surprised. I don't even know if I showed this on camera. Ow. This way. Surely. The nether is going to be... Aha, this is it. Oh yeah, I think this is the proper way. Oh, this is definitely the proper way. The nether is going to be the next big thing I work on after we finish tidying up for our world recap. Episode 75 to 100 is... There's no string in here. Oh, part 1 and part 2. String in here? No. Okay, let's see if I can remember how to work these. Oh, they're just going in. Perfect. Let's grab ourselves some string for the candles. And I completely forgot about this place. Still pretty, to be honest. I think I still did a good job here. I think I'll be here a while. I'm probably going to need like 3 stacks of string. There is definitely more traffic jam problems here than there was before, which I don't really know how to fix. That one's going to go and drown. These ones, maybe I should have some water hanging there from signs. Yeah, maybe that would fix it. I will leave it for just now though, until I forget. Again. Until I forget. I didn't realize my roof was deadly. Okay, well, ignoring that and ignoring me potentially getting creepered sometime soon, take a look at this, guys. It's my first time using these flowers, and I think they look quite cute here. They kind of work with the stone. I actually prefer the way they look at daytime. They're not too bad for a pop-up color at night either. And I think I'm pretty satisfied with this terrain, to be honest. I will add more snow at some point. I'll get right into it. And I'm pretty satisfied with this bridge as well. There's some corners unfinished. Obviously, this side needs to be done. But for the rest of the episode, I think we're going to finish up by just connecting this bridge with a path from the storage room. And I thought I lit up the rocks pretty well, and I did actually. I'm not seeing anything spawn on the rocks. I put a bunch of glow lichen and some candles, yeah, like those ones, light the place up, but turns out that creepers are spawning where the path should be. Gonna need to deal with that. Love having arrows in my bundle. And I'm trying to think. Oh my goodness. Nope. I'm trying to think of what sort of path I could put here. Do I keep it... There we go. Do I keep it the same style as this one here? Do I want to try something different? I'm not sure. Actually, speaking of paths, I noticed that my bridge was looking really plain in the middle. And, ooh, a naturally spawned stray. You can see those often here. I was trying to think that this was a little bit plain. So I added some shadows here with the birch planks, but because these are slabs, and I don't want to use upside down stairs here, I suppose it would be pretty hidden. But I think it might look weird from underground, and I don't know. Oh, that wasn't waxed, clearly. I think this is a fairly plain kind of bridge, but we'll just leave it that way. I added some moss with some bushes and some pickles on them. I think this looks very cute now. It looks very, very cute. Bringing back a little bit of that warmth here. I think if we make this whole section kind of nice and green, it's going to tie in with the bridge, because obviously this is a little bit more dead. Actually, I do want some custom spruce trees in here maybe at some point. I don't know if I'll do any tiny ones just now, or maybe that's for another time. But yeah, because of the snow on this biome, I think our paths need to be either path blocks like this, or slabs that are half a block down. or maybe just a lot of lights again on the road. I'm not sure. I always struggle with paths in this area because, well, I feel like I just end up using path blocks, and it's not necessarily bad. Maybe I should just do that again. When I have to spam lights everywhere on the road, it's not as nice, honestly. So, Are you ready for the grand reveal? And can I just say, hi Kitty, look up top of Melon here. Hi Kitty, look up top of Melon here. I love my little happy Ghast. But let's take a look at the final result for today. To wrap up the episode, we have down here. Wow, looks completely different, doesn't it? What a big difference. Does adding a bit of trees, a bit of light, and some greenery make? Honestly, I decided, what we really need to contrast these rocks over here is a bit of greenery at the top there. I also like the idea of blocking off the castle wall view just a little bit because it is a lot of the same blocks kind of being repetitive. I think this looks really good. The spruce trees over here are a bit of a placeholder until I get around to making permanent ones. But even so, I think it makes a big difference. And then this there with this copper, it needs to oxidize to the slightly more green variant. This is okay. I wanted to go even one further to the green one. You know which one I mean? The weathered, is that what it's called? And not the fully oxidized, but the weathered one. And I think then we'll have a lot of green hues in this path, and it's gonna look very cute. And of course, these are slabs, so they're not gonna get snow on them, so I can actually enjoy and see my path. These firefly bushes feel louder than normal. And I added a little wheat field here. I don't know, I've just been enjoying wheat fields, and I think it's a nice bit of colour. It actually kind of ties in with the wall. I don't know, it's a lot of cohesive themes here. I don't know, actually, if anything, it's not cohesive because we have literally a farm field growing next to ice and stone. But I don't know, I like the colour. I really like the colour of wheat fields, and I thought, I was flying around here, it's not like we don't have wheat fields elsewhere. We have one over here, of course, and we have one over here, and then we have the really big one out in the warm biome. But even in the snowy ones, I have used wheat fields for decoration, so I think it's fine. It feels cohesive in that sort of sense. And once this fully grows and once this fully oxidizes, it's going to look a lot better as well. But here is our bridge and our stones, and obviously that side of the island almost, that's gonna need to be done sort of all in one go probably once I figure out what goes here. And I was wondering where I left my ender chest. Right here, it turns out I left it right here. Let's see, at this section at some point I think I'm gonna have to connect up with everything else on the island. I do think a little dock here, a little dock there would be cute. What else could I put here? I'm not sure. I do need to think about a space for another storage room. I could just put it here, that's a good amount of space. Or maybe we want to expand out this way because we're starting to actually run out of room a little bit on our island. As you can see, it is actually an island. I didn't have to do anything else to it. I only widened the river a little bit at that point, but it was still a river. So yeah, we're running out of space on our island actually, which is quite wild to think how much we got done. And this view is kind of blowing my mind. That bridge actually makes a big difference to the shape of the island. It's a little bit more circular now. Where should I put any storage room? I did say I was going to build one at some point when the copper golems come out. Do I reserve this space here? Or do we start moving off the island? Very good question. Very good question, and I'm going to have a little ponder, but if you do have any opinions, let me know. Would having two storage rooms next to each other be silly? Do we go all out and make an even bigger one? Not the same size as that one, but even bigger. Are we going to need more space? That mountain is very empty. Do we start going all the way over there? No, that's maybe a little bit too far, huh? I'm not sure exactly, but I love this little bridge. I like my little path, even if it's not fully aged yet. And even if my crops aren't fully grown, I think it makes a big, massive difference. And honestly, guys, for doing a little bit of terraforming and doing a diagonal bridge, if I say so myself, it's not too bad. The connections here, I will say the connections are a little bit wonky. And I think I'm missing a spruce box over there. Not all my lanterns have aged. There's just, you get this treatment, get the axe treatment. But what do you think of the interesting colors here? What do you think? Does it work? I actually think it does work. I think I've kind of outdone myself. And I like the little corals. I like the little flowers. Why is that one still open? Huh. Not sure. And what do you think of Melon? I've missed Melon. Come here. There we go. Let's go put you back to your home. I think we're done building here just for a little bit. And Melon has been actually incredibly useful for the bridge, especially getting under it. So, love the little guy. I love my little big happy Ghast. And I have a leash I'm never gonna find in here, do I? Oh god. The one thing I have a problem with is how full my bundle gets all the time. I just check random stuff in there if I have one or two of it. And then yeah, I can never find what's at the bottom of it. It's like my bag in real life, honestly. Do you guys keep your bags organized? I kind of chuck everything in there, and every so often I have a clear out. Turns out I'm not a very organized person if you think of my bundles and my storage rooms and my stuff in real life. Oh well, at least I have a pretty path. Well, this is it for today's episode. Thank you so much for watching, and I'll catch you in the next one. Goodbye!